What's up, YouTube? Flash Speaks. You know what it is. Philadelphia Eagles. We got about a half hour to the Philadelphia 76ers take on the New York Knicks. Right down here in South Philly. I expect a really good one. Joel Embiid is going to play second game back, from his little rest, time off. I think it's a TNT game, so that should be mad entertaining. And I'm not even going to lie right now. The Sixers, in the hope of what they can do, is what's been getting me through right now. Problem with the Sixers, man, if you really look at it, they're almost like the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL. Not in terms of talent, okay? Like Dak Prescott is not Joel Embiid at all. It's no comp at all. But what I mean is, a team that shows that they have it all in the regular season, but at the end of the day, come up short in the playoffs. Can't seem to win 3 straight series. So in that way, they're kind of like how the Cowboys are. Anytime a Cowboy fan tries to bring up, what they think their team is going to do, the first thing they're going to be refuted with is, well, what y'all going to do in the playoffs? That's all people care about. And it's only right. That is how people should be with them. Because this has been their history. They haven't shown us anything that they haven't done before this year, But anyway, what's going on, man, with the Eagles? Disrespect everywhere. Disrespect everywhere. Now, some of it is earned. Much of it, to be honest with you, is just like Johnny-come-lately BS type of stuff. The truth of the matter is, man, people try to set this narrative that the Eagles have just been playing bad all year. And that's really not true. Now, what they want to do is compare the Philadelphia Eagles to last year's Eagles. But this is the logic that I'm trying to get at, right? Last year, the Philadelphia Eagles win 13 games, lose 3, but really with the Jalen Hurts, they only lose 1 game. Jalen Hurts puts up some of the best numbers for quarterbacks in terms of efficiency. It's not seen in touchdown passes and all of that, but I tell y'all, don't ever get deceived by Jalen Hurts' touchdown passing numbers. The difference between Jalen Hurts' touchdown passing numbers and every other quarterback in the league is that the Philadelphia Eagles, when they are in the red zone, in particular 5 yards in, the Philadelphia Eagles are more likely to run for a touchdown than they are to pass for a touchdown. The Philadelphia Eagles do not like to go, 5 wide from the 1 yard line and try to pass the ball in, whereas most other teams in the NFL, this is what they're doing. This is today's NFL, and this is why I don't like today's NFL as compared to previous generations and previous years. To me, it's common sense. When you're in the red zone, and particularly 5 yards in, you should be running the ball. If you do not have an offense that can run the ball into the end zone, to me, you do not have a good offense. I don't care how many passing yards your quarterback passes for. I don't care if your quarterback is passing for 5,000 yards. I don't care if he's throwing for 50 touchdowns. If that offense cannot produce a running game that can get them 5 yards when they need it to get a touchdown, it's not a great offense. You have a great passing game. That's the difference. An offense consists of a running game, passing game, short yardage, third down efficiency. All of those things is what make up a good offense. What you're missing of those things, we take away from your offense, in my view, in my estimation, just from watching a lot of damn football. When I say the Philadelphia Eagles have been disrespected, I mean, narrative-wise, number one. Because right now, because of the losses to the Giants, not to the Giants, I feel like you lost to the damn Giants, but you really beat them. But to the Cardinals, or the Cardinals, who won 3 games all year, and then lost to Seattle that you should not have lost. People now believe, the Eagles will just go out there and lose to the Buccaneers or they'll lose to the Rams. You have some people putting the Eagles as a team that's worse than the Rams. You know, um, and this is what's happening. Does it make sense or is it justified? I don't think so. I think it's coming usually from people who are just ego haters, for lack of a better word. Like the one guy in particular, Dick Wright, from FS1. Gonzo knows, as I call him. He, for some reason, doesn't like the Eagles or doubts the Eagles. And I don't quite get it because he's a Kansas City native. So naturally, he's going to go for the Chiefs. But when I think back and kind of follow his career as a sports guy, I can't really call him an analyst because what really qualify him to be that? He's a commentator. Guy just likes to talk about sports because he doesn't really know the sports for real. He's kind of always not like the Eagles very much. I remember when we had Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott were both drafted. I always remember him having some sort of a deference towards Dak Prescott. When Dak Prescott first comes into the league, he's gifted with the best offensive line in the league. He has a top wide receiver in Dez Bryant. He has Ezekiel Elliott who comes to the league with him, who was like a top 3 running back in the league in his rookie year from the rip. And they had a pretty decent defense, I just remember this guy thinking Dak Prescott was so great, But then, if you get a Brock Purdy for some reason, Brock Purdy gets carried by his team, whereas Dak Prescott didn't, according to Nick Wright, right? And I know I'm spending too much time on him because he's obviously, biased. He obviously is a 2-bit analyst who really doesn't know the sport, and he's too biased to be taken seriously. But it's just a joke. But you got those guys like him on one hand. Then on the other hand, I don't know what it is. The Pro Bowl voting came out, and the Pro Bowl selections were made. And the main major snub, I guess, would be Jalen Hurts. And DeAndre Swift made it, which kind of surprised me. But that's good. I do think he deserved it. Landon Dickerson makes it. Kelsey makes it. And so does Lane Johnson. Landon Dickerson was the surprise for me. Lane Johnson, he's kind of a mainstay. Though he's had a weaker year than previous years, but he's still a top guy. He should just be there. The Jalen Hurts snub over Matt Stafford is the problem for me. It's as if, a guy like Hurts his team has to have the best record, or he has to have the best yards. Like, he has to do a lot to get respect from people. Whereas Matthew Stafford's numbers are pretty much identical to Jalen Hurts. With the exception of Jalen Hurts has way more total touchdowns because he's a dual threat quarterback who not only passed for over 20 touchdowns, but he ran for another 15. Also defeated Matthew Stafford in a head-to-head matchup this year, as well as finished with a better record, with a harder strength of schedule. But somehow Matthew Stafford gets in and he doesn't. I'll never understand stuff like that. I'll never understand stuff like that, man. I don't know what would it be with these guys or with these people, man. But these people have their favorites, man. They have their guys that they lean towards. Guys who don't have to do as much as another guy to get accolades. You know, some guys, man, like I believe Jalen Hurts didn't get to go to the Super Bowl last year. He probably, doesn't even make the NFL top 100. I'm serious. This is the way these guys are. The NFL top 100, I get it, supposedly, the players judge. I guess Hurts won't even make the top 100 at all this year because, he's got to be like super duper extraordinarily best ever, better than everybody to get accolades. Whereas, other guys, they could just, either whether it's beat up on bad teams or whatever. But my issue is the Philadelphia Eagles had the best record in the NFL for a large part of the season. And the reason was because of the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. And the reason you have to admit that is because despite what the numbers look like or whatever, you're talking about a guy who has a defense that's the bottom third in the NFL. Okay? If you have the best record in the league or one of the best records in the league at a certain point, and you have one of the worst defenses in the league, then you got to give the quarterback points for that. I mean, it's just logic. Like, somebody's doing something right for you to have the best record in the league. Okay? Does he have weapons? Sure. Does Matt Stafford have weapons? Yeah. Everyone's telling me about Puka Nacua. Everyone's telling me about Cooper Kupp. Everyone's telling me about this running back he had made the Pro Bowl. So, they both got weapons, right? Matthew Stafford's never been great without weapons, so what's the difference? But enough of that. The issue is, what are the Philadelphia Eagles going to do with this situation? NFL, man, they don't, it is what it is, and they have a lot to blame for the situation they're in, no doubt. No doubt. I'm not no guy's going to sit up here and say and come with a woe is me narrative for the Eagles. I ain't even about to do that. I'm not that guy. I'm also not even the guy who cares a little more about the accolades. But what I am wondering is, how does this team respond? Prior to the recent slump we were in, I always saw this Philadelphia Eagles team as one of the tougher-minded teams in the whole league. Always thought so. Always thought so, man. Always thought that the one thing that Nick Sirianni did do well was prepare the guys mentally. Prepare them with the correct mindset. Have them ready to go. Not going to lie, the recent slump has, made me wonder about that. I think what kind of happened this season was the one weakness or the one major flaw that the team had, and it's not the offense. The one major flaw that the team had, the defense, just never got fixed. And I think that problem started to fester and it started to cause the players to question whether or not the coaching staff knows what they're doing. Okay? Now, it's a good thing and it's a good start that A.J. Brown came out and said the things he said when he eventually talked to the media. Clears the air. It isn't just as simple as many of us think that, Nick lost the locker room. No, Nick is doing certain things that has earned the respect of the team. And that's good. He doesn't go out there and he doesn't kill the guys. When the players when his coaches under him mess up, he'll take the blame for it. When his quarterback messes up, he'll take the blame for it. When his receivers mess up, he'll take the blame for it. And it appears that the players, they appreciate that, man. And A.J. Brown was a very stand-up guy in the way he dealt with that, Now, I'm not about to get up here and make a video and stating that they're going to turn it around or anything like that. What I'm going to say to you is nothing what I'm going to say or nothing anyone else is going to say is going to give us the answer we're looking for. The answer will come on that field, man. And not this week. It won't come until they're in those playoffs. And we see how they perform. I still believe, and I don't care what any of you say. You can come in his comments and say whatever the hell you want. I don't give a damn. I still to this day believe, man for man, the Philadelphia Eagles have the most talent in the league. Or one or two. One or two. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. People want to talk Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens are the best team. They're the best team because that team is playing the best. That team has an identity. That team knows what it wants. That knows what to do. They know how to react. They never get down. They believe. That's why they're the best team. They play physical. They keep to the fundamentals. They're always prepared. Their quarterback is dynamic as hell. One of the most dynamic quarterbacks we've ever seen. That's why they're the best team. But if you want to talk to me man for man, no. Weapons-wise, no. If you want to say Jalen Hurts and Lamar are equal, if you want to say Lamar is better, I'm not going to argue with you. Okay. You got Lamar. Now what? And I'm not saying I agree with it, but for the sake of argument, we'll go with, okay, Lamar. We go receivers. Well, Odell Beckham? What, the other receiver they have, whose name I can't remember, is better than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? No. Running game. Maybe Baltimore has a better running game when you look at it all. Maybe. Offensive line. I'll put Eagles' offensive line up against theirs. Up against anybody's. We talking talent man for man. Defensive line, I get it. I still don't care. I'll put this Eagles defensive line up against theirs and still take it. Still take it, man. Linebackers, I got you. You got me. The Ravens have better linebackers. Roquan Smith, I can't compete with that. They're linebackers. I can't. I still believe, though, however, that if it could get worked out schematically, I don't believe Shaq Leonard and Morrow and Cunningham are absolute doo-doo garbage trash that can't get it together. I don't believe that. I believe there's still a chance if they can put it together and at least be just be reasonably well, be middling. There's still potential there. On the back end, I believe there's so much potential on the back end. I don't agree with people that are saying you just don't have the horses, don't have the players. Like, who the hell you got to get? Dion and Revis are not out there, right? No, there's something still in the coaching. There's something in these players. They can play better than they're playing. You still got Byard. I don't believe he's done. I don't believe that, man. I don't believe he looks old. None of that. Right? There's something schematically that's happening. Sidney Brown is obviously a talent. You don't have guys that could just return 92-yard kicks like that through the league. That speed and athleticism. That ain't normal. That ain't normal. You don't see that everywhere, man. My point is, if these guys could just bring it the fuck together, man, 3-4 games, they still have to, but they're still one of the most talented teams in the league. I don't know what's going on schematically. I don't know what's happening with the coaches, with the teaching. I don't know if they're confusing the players or whatever, but if somehow they can just get this shit together, work it out, these guys can stick to their fundamentals, man. It's still, they have what you call a puncher's chance of getting that damn title. A puncher's chance. That's what they got, man. They're a team that got that chance like a fighter who can get a knockout at any moment if it just could come together. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it is, but, man, I'm telling you. Don't nobody really want to see them guys, see these guys, man. 49ers, y'all know how I feel. I'm not going to come here and hate on them, but I'm just telling y'all, man. I don't see what a lot of y'all see. I don't, man. I don't. I know the results are what they are. I get it. Brock Purdy, all right, y'all going to see, man. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all going to see, man. Y'all going to see. If you still don't understand what I'm saying to you, you're going to see. You know, Debo and Ayuk are good receivers. They're not A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They're not. Debo is excellent after the catch. One of the best receivers I've ever seen after the catch. I give him that. He's the modern-day Anquan Bolden. Right? But he's not Anquan Bolden as a receiver. He's not as a receiver. He's not. Same with Ayuk. He's a good receiver. He's not a top receiver, bro. He's not. It's not, man. Tight end Kittle, I give him that. Kittle's a top tight end, without a doubt. McCaffrey, he's the best running back in the league right now. So they got, even though I know he's on steroids, even though I know he's juicing. But whatever it is, NFL gonna let him juice, so he's the best running back in the league right now. I get him that. The Cowboys, man. I don't know how many times I tell y'all. All that hiding, all they do is hide CeeDee Lamb in a slot. And as soon as teams take that bullshit away, that's going to be the end of their little run. Because they can't just run the ball, go to the running game when they want, and dominate. They can't. That tight end Ferguson, I believe, will be a really good one in the future. I don't know if he's ready yet. Brandon Cooks, Gallup, please. And CeeDee Lamb, teams, just put your best guy on them. Stop putting linebackers on CeeDee Lamb. Please. Stop letting this guy, McCarthy, get away with this stuff, man. That's all they do. And it's a joke. And that defense, man, please, man. Paper Tigers, man. They got some fast players. They undisciplined. They don't stick to their fundamentals at all times. They're very weak-minded, and they can be bullied. Their defense can be made to look like ours at times, right? So I'm not going to sit there and tell you that the Eagles are going to pull it together, but I do hope, man, that what A.J. Brown is saying, and I hope the team, man, feels disrespected by the league and by everybody, man. It comes out there with the underdog mentality. I hope so, man. I hope so, because we could use it. Feel disrespected. Feel like you're the underdog. We'll see, man, if these guys are dogs like the dogs we had. You know what I mean? We'll see, man. And I'm about to go check out the Sixers, man. Peace.